Good evening, everybody. It is Wednesday at 9:30, and it is the Kinky Hour. K and KY know the new Kinky You. And, first of all, for anybody that saw the broadcast from last week, know that I had some technical issues, which was really my fault. I forgot to plug my laptop in. So I've dealt with that problem. Laptop's plugged in. We shouldn't have any particular issues with that. So with tonight's topic, one of the reasons why I'm putting it all together is because we're in a holiday season. So last week we kind of talked about tis the season, and tis the season means it's cold. People are looking to connect with other people and how best to do that. Now, one of the things that we find interesting is that during this particular time of the year, we have a lot of holiday parties, there's a lot of food, there's a lot of drinks, and it probably goes against your routine and your diet. Those things can impact how it is that you have a visual on yourself during the winter months. And we typically gain a little weight, and it's to be expected, but the point is to try to keep it under control as much as possible. So, for instance, I told you I recently started going kickboxing, and part of the reason was because, what I find is that about 2 years ago, right before I started dating my boyfriend, I had lost a lot of weight. We had talked about this before, like people kind of go up and down and they fluctuate. And, when I lost the weight, I was really happy. I was like, I'm on my way. And then, I met my boyfriend. I blame him, lovingly blame him. And he's like, people say it's happy weight. You get into a relationship, you start cooking, you get comfortable, and it's happy weight. And I was like, who's happy about this? We can't do this. So, you get comfortable and time goes on and you start to look at your body and how it changes over the course of time and circumstance. So body image is all about how you see yourself and how when you are naked in the mirror and when you're looking at yourself, how do you feel about your body? Now, when you have a negative body image, when you don't see or recognize the beauty in yourself, this is where you need to be mindful and purposeful about losing some of the negative commentary that goes into your head. When you have a view of what your body should look like, what your goals should be, there's nothing wrong with doing what you need to do to work towards attaining those goals. Goals, I'm all about goals. Hashtag goals, with whether you're working with, so you guys know by now that I am in the process of receiving my certification as a sex coach. The purpose of a sex coach is to work with you, help you identify your goals, and develop a strategic plan to get you to what you're trying to accomplish. And it's the same thing with your body and your body image. So I go to kickboxing, which means I rely on people that are already fit, that are already motivated, that do this on a regular basis to kind of keep me going and to try to motivate me to get back into shape. So I rely on people who are subject matter experts in that particular area to help me. And it's the same thing with a sex coach. And that's what these particular sessions are for, is I am looking at the things that are coming up and are coming across in conversations on a weekly basis and trying to figure out things that matter to you. And the matter to you is really trying to first recognize and identify that there are concerns and issues that people have regarding sex. We tend to ask ourselves questions, or we have small group conversations, or even we'll be in Facebook or Instagram chats, and even the ones that I have where people are commenting and posting, but they're doing it under the anonymity of the internet and whatever your profile is and the personas that you create. And there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes there is a need to deal with issues, questions on a more specific level. And if that's the case, segue, feel free to DM me and we can talk about it on the post, on these live sessions. I'll develop a session topic around questions or concerns that you have, or we can establish something where we're working together as a coach client service situation. So going back to the body image, when you're working with a coach, you're working with a fitness coach to help you ascertain your goals, you really have to decide, one, what it is that you want to accomplish. Is it lose weight? Is it gain muscle? Is it to become stronger, more flexible, leaner? Because all of these things will help you in your sex life. First, when you see yourself, you have to be attracted to you. You have to look at yourself and say, damn, I have nice boobs, breasts, I have a nice ass, nice thighs. I love the way my neck looks in a certain position, how my back arches in a certain position. So the posts that I've done this week, and the ones that I've shared, because I do them both on Instagram and on Facebook, were a lot related to this. So one question was about sexual positions, and we're going to talk about that because it's related to pregnancy as well. But certain positions are more comfortable depending on body type. One of the comments this week was your favorite sexual position is dependent on the body type and body style that a person has. Body type and sexual style that a person has. So if you are very slender and you are wanting to have a more aggressive sexual experience, there is, you might have a position where the man is, you're riding him and he's bouncing you, perhaps. There is, of course, the favorite position for most people was a variation of doggy style. And there's also the missionary but backwards, where you're on your side and there's the cupping. So there are a lot of different ways. In fact, I have some videos if anybody's ever interested in how to create variety in your sexual positions based on the 3 primary positions that exist, which are riding, doggy style, and missionary. All sexual positions are a variation of those 3 things. Oh, how are you? So when you're talking about your body image, you need to be sexually attracted to yourself. You have to find yourself desirable and know that the person that you're being intimate with, hey babe, also finds you desirable. And that's one of the things that I can honestly say I appreciate about my boyfriend, is because there is no limit to his expression of desire towards me. And it makes me feel good. Sometimes it's a little overwhelming, but all the time I'm like, this man is looking at me, even though I'm blaming him for the 15 pounds that I gained since I messed with him. And he's blind to it. He just doesn't see it. And he's also supportive and encouraging when I'm like, I need to get to kickboxing tonight. We got to hurry up. I got to go. And he's like, okay, yes, we got. So it all works. You need to have that confidence within yourself. You need to have the support of your partner. I also like that although blind to his desires, he's not blind to the fact that I am not necessarily where I want to be like my girl Nicole, who's getting up in the morning and swimming and doing all kinds of crazy foolishness. I'm not there yet, but I'm going to get there. Everybody has to find the thing that they do that helps them be that person visually that they want to be. Now, I mentioned like the weight gain during the holidays and things like that. In my kickboxing class, they say summer bodies are made in the winter. So you can't wait until it's Memorial Day and say, okay, now I'm going to lose 30 pounds and be ready for the summer. No, you have to be cognizant and mindful of your body and your body image through the course of the winter to make sure that you stay on target for summer activities. Now, if you happen to get pregnant during this cuffing season, it happens. Now, closer to the time where you are getting ready for your summer body, you're going to have a different body issue to deal with. Now, women, I have a daughter. So I've been pregnant one time and I've gone through the experience of what those body changes look like. And a lot of times, especially women, we don't know what to expect. There's a lot of changes that we go through that are completely unpredictable. from a physical aspect to, just the changes, your breasts swell, girl, I can see baby number 4 for you. I can. We got that in 2019. Listen, as your body changes, your breast swells, sometimes your butt gets big. Mine didn't. I was so disappointed. But your butt gets big, your belly definitely grows. It changes all of your center of gravity. How you see yourself depends on a whole lot of factors, right? Being pregnant is a beautiful experience. And what you find is that most men are way more attracted. I'm not going to say way more, have a different level and type of attraction towards their pregnant partner. They see that body glow. They see the maternal nurturing that comes from within. It exudes itself out. And pregnant women, they get it. And the desire to have sex doesn't necessarily dissipate when you become pregnant. So the question is, as you become pregnant and you're getting used to your new body, how is it that you then can handle sex, your physical sex and your sexual desire during your state of pregnancy? So one of the things, and there's actually a young lady at my job who is pregnant. She's about to bust. She's like, this is the last week. She's not at work anymore. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, she's a young lady. She's married. This is her first kid. And she's just glowing and beautiful. And I vaguely remember, that experience. And honestly, I'll tell anybody, my daughter was the best diet that I had because I was able to lose about 30 pounds, probably because I couldn't drink and do a whole bunch of other stuff. But that diet put me in a different place, body image wise. So as you're seeing yourself grow, how do you accommodate for the different changes? So for instance, I was conflicted about my breasts while I was pregnant because they started to shift from a play desire, it was just for, aesthetically, I have nice boobs, but then also, they were a sexual tool. And now I'm having to get used to the fact that my breasts are now going to be milk production factories for this little baby. And they shouldn't be, nobody should touch them. Nobody should be on them except for her. So the image that I saw for what my breasts were becoming changed. Also, it's how do you accommodate the girth in your midsection? Because any woman that's been pregnant will tell you your sleep pattern changes, the positions of your sleep changes, being comfortable, and also depending on where you are in the phase of your pregnancy, whether it's the first, second, or third trimester, depends on how you are responding to the changes of your internal self, meaning, smells will bother you. You have morning sickness and nausea. If you are in a state of constant sickness, the desire for sex may not be there. You have to, especially if you're in a pregnancy with your partner there with you, you have to also be mindful to acknowledge what your partner is going through with you. So when the post went on Instagram, a lot of the feedback was, well, it was a little mixed. So some people were, yes, and it was the same picture that I posted for the live on Facebook tonight with the very beautiful young woman on the beach. And it's like, do pregnant women need extra care? And, to me, the answer is yes. I mean, one, you are now carrying on the responsibility of life within you. So not only are you being extra careful for yourself, you're being extra careful for this little baby person that lives in your belly. So a lot of times couples can be apprehensive even about the physical aspects of having sex. And you really shouldn't be, because barring any high-risk pregnancy, sex during pregnancy is very, very natural. It's very common. A lot of women actually their sex drive increases during pregnancy. So, but that's not always the case. So these topics are never going to be universal. They're never going to be, here's a blanket solution to everything and everybody, because it literally is on a case by case basis. There's nothing that I can say that will relate to every single person that listens to this session. So for me, I enjoyed sex while I was pregnant. It became more challenging the longer I was pregnant. So by the end of my third trimester, it was like I couldn't sleep. I was constantly uncomfortable. And sex just was not at the top of my list. And, and it wasn't because I had a fear of hurting her. I knew that that wasn't the case. So if you don't know, again, unless you are having some type of high risk pregnancy, sex during pregnancy, if you desire it, is perfectly natural. And there are ways to be safe. One, making sure that whoever you're with is clean, like no STDs, STIs, no cold sores, anything like that. If you have a cold sore, or if your partner has a cold sore, they should not give you oral sex during pregnancy. There should be no, if you're receiving oral sex during pregnancy, don't breathe bubbles, air into the vagina, because you could create an air embolism, and that would be ungood for mom and baby. So there are things that you have to consider as far as safety when it comes to sex. The flip side to that is being in a comfortable and safe position to have sex. And the pregnancy belly, it gets in the way. I mean, it's there. It's not, you can't get around it. So how best to accommodate sex while you're pregnant? So this comes into the positions. Most of them are going to be some type of variation between, well, you can hit on all of them, but I'll give you a highlight. So let's say that you are a woman on top position. Riding during pregnancy is perfectly safe. You can control how deep you go, your uterine wall, your mucus plug, all of those things are in your cervix. Those things will protect the baby from, it's not going to get, I know certain men think that the baby will get poked in the head with the penis. It's not going to happen. The baby's perfectly fine. What you do have to do is make sure that she is comfortable, because the baby can shift during sex. The baby will respond to motions and thrusts and things like that. So making sure that mom stays comfortable is the most important thing. So whether you're riding or same thing, face forward position is to be in a chair where you're taking the position but taking the weight off of your body. You can also be moved to the edge of the bed where, and this is a missionary position, where you're on your back but your butt is closer to the edge. Make sure that you take a pillow to elevate your butt up. In all missionary positions, especially later in the pregnancy, use something to elevate you so you're not flat on your back. What else? Or doggy style is, you can do that. And again, that was most people's favorite positions. I'm a fan of it as well. If you go and make sure that your belly stays off of the bed or wherever you are, no pressure, no having the top of your belly laying into the bed, then you're good to go. Oral sex, again, is perfectly safe during pregnancy. Just make sure that, one, there are no cold sores or any open sores that could create an infection, that would then be harmful to mom and baby. Let's see. With oral sex, women, there's your mouth still works, ladies. Please feel free to give oral sex, because a lot of times as women, we forget that when we have a partner that is there with us, they are also going through the experience. They aren't pregnant, of course, but they're going through the experience with us, and we have to be mindful. So in a lot of ways, you want to not forget about your partner. You have to, you're taking care of a child. You're nurturing this baby that is soon to be presented to the world, but you also have your man sitting right there. And you don't want to neglect his needs. However, there has to be a compromise. Now, the way that you accomplish this, which is one of the main things that we've talked about, is communication. Open your mouth and talk to your partner. Don't make him or her guess as to what it is that you're feeling, what it is that you need, especially if something is having an adverse effect on you. If you are uncomfortable, in pain, even not in the mood, there has to be open communication and a willingness to work around. So let's say that you're in a position where you are either unable or not ready to be physically intimate. It's sex, especially intercourse, is off the table. There are other ways to be intimate with each other. You can massage. You can, especially guys, this is one of probably the bestest things that you could do for your pregnant wife or girlfriend. Take some oil, take some lotion, and just rub her down. Just not even, you don't have to be a great masseuse. You don't have to be licensed. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a sexual thing. It is an intimate thing. You go, you massage them, especially the stomach. You massage the area, you lotion up the area, and you become close with your girl and with the baby that you all are carrying. Those things are insurmountable to the connection and intimacy that you can have during this very, very special time in both of your lives. So, to recap, what we're talking about is a series of things. Once you are in that relationship, you've gone through your cuffing season, because we talked about cuffing season last week, and you've met this person and you're either dating, married, or you're doing whatever you do. Hopefully it's a mutual and committed relationship. Sometimes it ain't always like that, but hopefully it is. But if your partner is with you and you're going through a pregnancy together, one, be mindful of the fact that your body is going to change. From the day that you have intercourse and the conception happens to the day that you give birth, your body changes daily, and you have to be okay with those changes. Giving birth is a natural and beautiful thing, and to look at your body and not see the beauty in that, it's devastating. And if any female is currently in a state of pregnancy where you're having these types of issues, please feel free to reach out to me. We can discuss ways that you can work to help improve your self-image, things that you and your partner can do together to help stimulate those realms of attractiveness and desire towards yourself. Your partner can figure out ways to be more encouraging to what it is that your body changes, on how your body changes are impacting you. Once you are, and this is not just for pregnancy, body images happen to all of us. Again, we're in the stage of winter and winter weight and Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that other stuff. So same type of thing, as you are looking at your body, if your body is starting to change into something that you're not quite comfortable with, or you would like to see improvements on, there are things that you can do to put yourself on a path to make those corrective actions and changes. Same thing. I love kickboxing. That's what I do. So I would recommend them if it's something that you're interested in doing, and it's not just for ladies, it's for guys too. So as you're going through the body image piece and now you're pregnant, keep in mind that pregnancy and sex, specifically during pregnancy, is completely safe. You're not going to hurt the baby. There should be no apprehensions about it. However, it's not the same for every person. Your body's changes, your mental state, your emotional state, all of those things impact how your sexual desire and the readiness for sexual desire. All of those things say whether, I'm tired and I'm not feeling well. If you're tired and you're not feeling well and you've been suffering from morning sickness, then you may not be in a position where sex is the thing on your head right now. But if your partner is there and you can do something to accommodate, then you have to start the open dialogue, communication, in order to figure out how to be intimate without necessarily being sexual. And then finding a compromise that works for both of you. If he's unhappy, she's unhappy, you have to both, and I know that the family dynamics are changing, so I'm really just using he and she as a blanket statement so that I can't cover all of the different scenarios, but in a parenting situation where you have two partners, where one is pregnant, making sure that you are communicating and the dialogue stays open and that you are being accommodating towards that particular person in your relationship. So there are, again, different sexual positions that you can try. Again, these are all variations that will keep you from applying too much pressure to your body and especially to your stomach. So again, based on earlier comments, what is my favorite sexual position? Doggy style is a top one and works well during pregnancy. Missionary, but where you, with missionary, never keep your back flat on the surface. Try to raise up your pelvic so that your back is kind of slanted and you're putting some of the pressure off of the baby with direct weight pressuring down. And if you're going to do riding, as long as you're comfortable, but don't bounce. I said because it's a little thin one, you can bounce her up and down perhaps, or if you're really, really strong. I'm about to wrap up, Brian. Thank you. Byron, I'm sorry. To go back and look at it. I promise. So what I want everybody to do is to, one, if you are only on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. The posts there there's a lot of discussion, a lot more discussion on Instagram than there is on Facebook. Are you? Oh, hi. I'm just seeing you. I don't know why then. Maybe it's a delay in the feed. What was I saying? Instagram. There's a lot more conversation that happens. So what I've been doing is posting what are the cuff card questions, and just trying to get feedback on things. And some of those questions that have promoted a lot of conversation on Instagram, I share on Facebook. And perhaps all of those things are conversations that I would like for you guys to join in. If there are conversations are on Facebook and this is your platform, because honestly, I'm a little bit more comfortable with Facebook than Instagram. I'm getting Instagram. I'm moving myself up on that. But the conversations here, we have our page. We have our private group. I would like to start the conversations. I want to know what you guys want to talk about. I am sharing information based on conversations that I have throughout the week, and I'm bringing to you the things that I feel are interesting. And this week, I have a coworker that's pregnant. She's beautiful. And I'm thinking, and we did the post about what women need, pregnant women need. Do they need more care? And the answer to me is yes, we need more care. Be thoughtful in how it is that you are looking at yourself and looking at your partners. So join me on all social media platforms. It's DOYOUKNKY. Do you KNKY is do you know the new kinky you? Instagram, Facebook, of course. Hey, Linda. Instagram, Facebook. My website is www.doyouknky.com. We also have YouTube. So I'm trying to take all of these videos and post them onto YouTube. So as I'm getting my technical savvy up on that transition, you'll start to see those there. But please feel free to, even if you're looking at this as a recorded version, please feel free to leave comments and feedback and anything that you would like to share related to the topic. Have the conversation and it'll be great. So it is 9:59, 10 o'clock. I've been running my mouth for about 30 minutes. I never know how I do that. I must have a lot to say. I will see you guys next week at 9:30. Oh, and FYI, on Sundays at 9:30, I'm going to be doing an abbreviated version of the post on Instagram, because Instagram does the stories and they only last 24 hours. So I'm not going to talk for 30 minutes on Instagram. So if you want to hear this again or hear any updates based on the feedback from next week, join me on Sundays at 9:30 on Instagram Live. So I'll talk to you guys next week. Have a good one.